Friends, put your hands together to welcome on stage Quizmaster Big Brain.
Hello and a warm welcome to each and every one of you. You're with me, Big Brain, here today on what is perhaps the dawn of a new era in Indian quizzing. Well, did I say Indian quizzing? It's perhaps truly world quizzing. As we get on to the semi-finals of YCC 2020's Industry Awareness Quiz, we have contestants taking part from right across the length and breadth of India. We've also got a couple of contestants who are from outside of India as far as the United Kingdom. So, truly global in the sense is the enabler called technology. And we are here today, of course, powering this entire quiz series on a new digital platform that we've created called Quizital. But before we get to that and introduce you to our four finalists who are going to be battling here today in the first semi-final, this quiz has been concepted as part of a fantastic event called YCC 2020. It's an idea or a concept that was created by Skillablers and EDC. And these two entities came together to create a pragmatic solution for young India and turns out to be youngsters all over the world to actually find solutions on what to do next in a constructive manner, and therefore a fascinating conclave was put together. The whole thing started in commemoration with the birth anniversary of none less than JRD Tata as they rolled out YCC. The whole objective was really to connect you individuals with the institutions and industry. So that's the 3I, but I actually look at it as 5 I's. It's imperative for these three to come together to contribute to the growth of the 5th I, which is India. On that note, industry awareness is an extremely important ingredient as you march into the corporate world. So we're going to get started with our first semi-final here today, powered, of course, by Grey Caps and 1 Minute Learning. But we'll come to that in just about a moment. But for now, I'm going to introduce you to our four semi-finalists. These are contestants who've gone through grueling rounds over a week where they had online quizzes and they had to qualify into the first semi-final. So we've got 4 semi-finals coming up, after which you're going to have the mega final. For now, in our first semi-final, qualifying as our first contestant here today, to welcome on stage from Hindustan College of Arts, Coimbatore. With us here today is Roshan Krishna. Welcome to you. Roshan joins us from the lovely city of Coimbatore, and neighboring him as our second contestant here today is a contestant from the Garden City of Bengaluru, representing CMS College, Jain University, is Pranav Jain. Welcome to you. As our third contestant here today, representing the Indian School of Business from Hyderabad, from ISB, is Anirban Kundu. Welcome to you, Anirban, as our next contestant. And completing our lineup here today from Ahmedabad, qualifying from the Nirma University, is Dhananjay. Welcome to you, Dhananjay. Those then are our four contestants here today. And it's just about time for us to get started with our first semi-final. Contestants, you got a buzzer which is enabled for you on your phones, and you can keep that right there and ready. All the questions in this quiz till the final round are going to be played on the buzzer. I'll explain the rules of the final round when we get to the final round. But before we get progressing, plus 50 if you get it right, minus 50 if you get it wrong. One attempt allowed on the buzzer, whoever buzzes first. If you are good to go, and if we are ready here today with our contestants all set on the buzzers, the first ever final in a big way on this digital medium at YCC 2020's Industry Awareness Quiz. We pick action on the first frontier of our battle here today. It's time for us to play what we call Industry Insight. Here it comes. All hands on the buzzer. Questions will come from different industry sectors because that's been the focus of YCC. And the industry category will appear on your screen. So if you're putting your thought process together, keep an eye on what industry I'm asking you the question from. 50 if you get it right. Hands on the buzzer. Contestants, if you are ready and if we are good to go. All right. Just for me to also quickly get you in sped. If you guys could sit straight enough so that your angles are good. And we are all set to go. We start with the first question coming up on your screen now. This is an aviation company which at a point in time was manufacturing snow coaches as well. They called them the Gushi. Roshan has gone for it on the buzzer. Roshan, you got to switch on your audio. And if you could tell me what you think the answer is.
Okay, I'm guessing is this Bombardier.
Bombardiers will give Roshan the first 50 in this quiz. Plus 50 to you. Well answered on Bombardier. At a point in time, they used to make snow coaches and later started focusing only on the aviation business. As we move to our second industry sector question on your screen from the world of media, here it comes. What famously started with "Video Killed the Radio Star"? They played this at a point in time, and Roshan is on the buzzer yet again. And yes, Roshan.
I'm going with MTV.
MTV started by saying "Video Killed the Radio Star." Perfectly correct. He got himself 100 on that. Roshan's playing the game well. As we're going to go into the third one, teams will have to play up quickly on the third frontier from the world of sport. Here we go. Identify the person. Roshan yet again.
Okay, this is Maria Sharapova's brand Sugar Pova.
Well, you seem to follow Maria Sharapova rather closely to recognize her from her lip outline. Well answered on that one, Roshan. You get another 50, but you're absolutely right. Roshan Krishna from Coimbatore seems to be blazing away in this first semi-final. The others will have to catch up with him as we go to the next one on your screens from the world of manufacturing. Here it comes. This is a unique two people on the buzzer, but Roshan still a little faster than Dhananjay. Go ahead, Roshan.
Okay, this is the world's first 3D printed house.
The first 3D printed structure, well, it's now actually operating as an office. But Roshan will still get that right. Oh, brilliant quizzing. Roshan's really going blazing all guns. The others probably just about warming up to a new medium of quizzing as the world of digital production of quiz shows takes over. Early days in this quiz final, but we will be back with you on the other side with where the teams stand. Give me just about a moment to tabulate the scores and I'll be back. You don't go anywhere. Stay with us. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching the first semi-final of YCC 2020's Industry Awareness Quiz. You're with me, Pick Brain, and we've got 4 outstanding contestants, of whom Roshan Krishna from Coimbatore has gone blazing away on the scorecard. It's a simple one at this point in time. His industry quotient reads 200 at the end of just 1 round. Long way to go. We've got another 4 rounds to go, so anything can happen in a quiz like this. As we're going to go on to the second frontier of our battle here today, it's time for us to pick action on what we call industry expressions. Here it comes. $50, you get it right, minus 50 if you get it wrong. The scoring pattern remains the same as we go on to the first one coming up on your screen from the industry of, I think, cement. Here we go. Here you are. Which cement brand owns this cement brand? It's a huge cement giant. One of the key people in that family's name is Rajashri. In her name, they actually had a cement brand. It's a famous group. Roshan's giving it a shot.
Is this Birla?
We'll give you a minus 50. Birla Cement is different. The answer is Ultratech. Well, Ultratech is the answer. Birla is the group, but Birla Cement can be very, very different. So that's the reason I was telling you, member of the family and leading you in. But the company that would be the correct answer in the cement category would be Ultratech. So he takes a negative from his dominating position of 200. He comes down to 150. As we go to the next one on your screens from the world of fashion, here we go. It's an iconic brand named after a great designer. Anirban is taking a shot at it.
Is this by any chance Jimmy Choo?
Jimmy Choo and his shoe. Put your hands together. Lovely. Anirban will get a 50, so he'll get onto that scorecard with that answer. Very well played. The normal tendency is to think J.C. Penney. That's the human reaction to a question like this. But Jimmy Choo was beautifully played, and giving you a 50 on that as we go to the next one on your screens now. From the world of agriculture, this is a Tata company. Pranav Jain is giving it a shot. Go ahead, Pranav. Which Tata company is this?
I pressed it by mistake. I pressed the button by mistake.
Oh, that's a wrong buzz. Okay, we'll permit you that. 1 second. Let me repeat the question then. This is a Tata company in the agriculture business. It's a predominant company that has been there for a fairly long time. Which Tata entity is this? Dhananjay is giving it a shot. You got to switch on your mic, Dhananjay.
Yes. So I'll say Tata Chemicals.
Well, that gives you a minus 50 on Tata Chemicals. That's a logical way to think, but the answer is Rallis India. Rallis is a company which specializes in the field of agriculture for the Tatas. As we go to the final one in this round on your screens now. Which company in the retail space owns Citron? It's a brand created exclusively as an in-house brand of a great e-commerce giant in India. All these e-commerce giants learned that it's better to have their own brands rather than just representing others. So a huge Indian e-commerce major created something called Citron. Well, how many e-commerce majors in India can you think of? That's like a 50-50 question. Someone's taking a chance. Anirban is?
Yeah, just pure chance. Future Group.
The Future Group. Oh, you lose a 50 on that. The answer is Flipkart. Well, life can be very, very simple sometimes. I'm going to try and pick action on one more round before we take a break and take a look at the scores, because nothing much has changed. We've got Roshan on 150 and we've got Dhananjay now on minus 50. Anirban losing the 50 that he had. But for now, we're going to move on to the next frontier of our game, which we call Industry Scanner. Here it comes. Keep those hands on the buzzer as you keep moving one question to another. 50 is what you can gain. Here's the next one coming up on your screen now. This is a huge giant and Roshan's gone for it on the buzzer.
This is Faraday Future.
Faraday Future, what do you know about them?
It's the rival company of Tesla. They
Well,
make e-cars.
They've done a lot of work themselves to be rather unhappy if you call them a rival only to Tesla. They've done a lot by themselves of their repute, but Faraday Future is a beautiful answer. It's actually two F's that you see, and that creates the logo for Faraday Future. As we go on to the next one on your screens, coming up here is a question from the world of engineering now. He was the chairman of what was called the Electronics Committee in India. The panel was set up after the 1962 war to create a blueprint for development of an indigenous electronic industry in our country, simply because there was an acute shortage of electronic parts felt by the armed forces. He is better known in India as a man in science, more perhaps in the atomic field. But he is the man who would undoubtedly be credited as the father of the electronic revolution. Anirban has given it a shot. Go ahead, Anirban.
Is it the Homi Baba?
Very good answer. Homi Baba is a very good answer to give Anirban a 50. He claws his way back slowly. And here's the next one on your screens from the world of gaming. Fingers on the buzzer. It's like a generationally relevant question to you on screens now. It's a famous company. Anirban has given it a shot from Finland. Go ahead.
This is Rovio.
Is perfect. He'll get himself a 50 on Rovio, and he's now moving on to 100, which means the contest will slowly get tight if he gets another 50 somewhere here. Final one in this frontier from the world of defense on your screen now. This gentleman lends his name to an extremely famous battle tank. Identify this great man from the world of the battlefields. He lends his name to a great battle tank. Well, tough one for all the four contestants. Unless, of course, you are into the world of defense and military, it could be a tough one. The answer that I was looking for is the Patton tank. The Patton tanks are extremely famous and named after this great man from the world of defense and military. We're going to take a very, very short break. On the other side, I'll tell you where the teams are standing, or the contestants are standing, and the contest is getting closer with every passing question. You stay with us. I'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're with me, Pick Brain, here today watching the first semi-final of YCC 2020's Industry Awareness Quiz. YCC itself has been a fascinating platform for youngsters. This quiz, all the more to increase their awareness of the industry around them, or the industry they're going to be part of very quickly. Before we move any further, let's take a look at where the industry quotient of these four youngsters stands. Here it comes on your screen. On this industry quotient that you're watching on your screens, on minus 50 is Dhananjay from Ahmedabad. Pranav from Bengaluru is yet to get off that mark, but on a relative scale, he's all right. Anirban from Hyderabad is currently on 100, and Roshan from Coimbatore blazed off to 200 in the first round. He's gained some, lost some, so he stays on that 200. But the nervousness of that gap will start building onto him, especially if Anirban chooses to close in. So for the moment, it's Roshan from Coimbatore and young Anirban from ISB Hyderabad, who could be the challenger unless the others blaze forward. For now, we're picking action on the next frontier of our battle. It's called Industry Monitor. Here it comes. Starting with the first one, scores remain the same on your screens, hands on the buzzer. Here we go. From the world of NGOs, Nanhi Kali is from which group in India? It's a very famous group known for their contribution, much like probably someone like the Tatars. This is another group which invests a lot of money in philanthropy. The girl child is of great importance to them. They are a giant which is well known from being in aviation to software to automobiles, with a young leader, a very dynamic leader in the world of business heading them. Which famous Indian group am I talking about in the context of Nanhi Kali? Nobody on the buzzer. Anirban, now he's gone for it. He's taking a shot.
Is it the HCL group?
Minus 50 to you. The answer is Mahindra's. Mahindra's is Nanhi Kali. As we go to the next one on your screens, hands on the buzzer from the world of management. Here we go. The MBA world. This Anirban is quick and fast on the buzzer. Veritas is their creed.
This is Harvard. Veritas is...
Anirban has got that absolutely right, and he'll quickly erase that 50 that he lost. He would have only been happier if he had not taken a 50 and got this 50, because that would have tilted scales differently. But he's still got two more questions to get to that score as we go to the next one on your screen now. This is a famous pharma giant. Roshan's taking a shot at it. Yeah, Roshan.
Okay, this is Sun Pharma.
Sun Pharma will give you a minus 50. This is the Piramal Group, and he's taken a risk on that and reduced himself further to 150. We've got one more round to go after this. If Anirban gets this right, we're going to be level on scores moving into the final round. And the final round will be based on your position as you enter into the final round. So it's going to be a very, very interesting scenario as we're going to go into the final frontier with one question to go on your screens, and that from the world of fitness coming up for you now. What great idea in the world was started by this man? Roshan's giving it a shot. Yeah, Roshan.
This is Gold's Gym.
Gold's Gym was created by this great man for the world of fitness. Roshan just in the nick of movement, going back to that 200 of his. That seems to be a lucky number for him. He never moves away from that 200, and that's where he really started. Well, one final round to go in this quiz, but we'll take a look at where the teams stand because it's fascinating. Anirban is on 100, Pranav yet to score, Dhananjay on minus 50, but leading the quiz into the final frontier of the first ever YCC2020's Industry Awareness Quiz is Roshan from Coimbatore on 200 as his industry quotient. On the other side, we're going to start with the final frontier. I'll be back in just about a second. Stay with me. All right, welcome back to all you folks. As you know the scores, it's a scorecard where we're going to go from the last contestant first to the first contestant last. And it's a rapid fire that I'm going to be throwing at you on the final frontier, which we choose to call Industry in a Minute. Here it comes. The world today provides us with so little time to do anything. Well, let alone other people having time for us, we do not seem to have the time for our own selves to even sometimes learn. So we at Grey Caps Knowledge Tribe have created something very interesting for you youngsters. It's called 1 Minute Learning. We're bringing together concepts and important things that you need to know in just 1 minute. And you can download that app, of course, and get onto it. To have a 1 minute every day is all that we need of your time to make you better communicators and more knowledgeable. So you might want to try that app after you are done watching this quiz. But for the moment, we're trying to capsule the industry in a minute for our 4 finalists. And we're going to be going down from Dhananjay, who is on -50 from Nirma University. The rules of the game before I go to your 60 seconds, Dhananjay, and the rules are common for all the 4 contestants. It's an individual specific round where I'm going to ask you 60 seconds of questions. The time taken by me to read the questions are included in the 60 seconds of time allocated to you. You cannot come back to a question even if you have time left in the 60 seconds. I shall take your first answer as correct or incorrect. If you choose to pass a question, you do not get any negatives. You get a +50 if you get it right. You get a -50 if you get it wrong. If you are ready, Dhananjay, do you have any round-related doubts? All right, please keep your mic on because you would have to keep answering for the next 1 minute.
Any quick question? How
Yeah.
many questions?
I'm coming to
per
that.
person?
4 questions in your 60 seconds. So you can score 200 points if that's the math that you're looking at.
Okay.
Dhananjay, if you are ready, with a 60-second timer coming up on your screen, your 1 minute of learning and answering in this quiz, time starting now. Gaylord Anton Nelson is the founder of what important day? Valentine's Day or Earth Day?
Earth Day.
Is correct. Until retirement in 2003, which was the world's fastest commercial airline? They retired it in 2003 because it was not feasible. You can choose to go to the next question.
Okay. Pass.
Pass. You don't lose any points. In 2012, who paid the Swiss Federal Railways $21 million after they were sued for ripping off their clock design? Famous technology company.
Repeat the question.
Which company paid the Swiss Federal Railways 21 million because they ripped off the clock design?
Pass.
Final question. I have started, so I'll finish. Which equipment was built and used by prisoners to crush grains at mills, and therefore its name? Popularly found in gyms in the modern world. Well, tough last one for Dhananjay. You missed on the fastest commercial airline, which is Concorde. Now he'll say, oh my God, I should have got that. The company that was accused of ripping off the clock design was Apple. And Apple had to pay up that kind of money. And finally, what was used by prisoners to crush grains in mills is a treadmill, which you today find in the gyms. Well, he's got himself a 50 on Earth Day and luckily did not take any negatives. So that brings him out of that negative in our final here today. Pranav Jain from Bengaluru, from Jain University. If you are ready, Pranav, your mic is on.
Yes.
Your 60 seconds or your 1 minute of learning and answering, time starting now. Who Will Cry When You Die is a book authored by which famous writer?
Pass.
Robin Sharma. Which car brand in India is named after Hanuman? That's a cheeky one.
Pass.
Pass, it's Maruti.
Yep.
Third one, which English word meaning a magnet has its origins from the Japanese word for great lord? Normally, huge business giants are referred to by this Japanese word.
Pass.
The answer is tycoon. Final one. from the world that everybody loves. What is the name of Joey's bedtime penguin pal? Is it
Can you
Huxley?
please repeat the question?
I'll repeat. What is the name of Joey's bedtime penguin pal? Is it Huxley or Titatsi?
Huxley.
Is correct. He'll get that on Huxley, which takes him to 50, just ahead of Dhananjay. So he will finish third in the first semi-final. But now we're really getting to the crucial crux of this battle. You are ready, Anirban, with your mic on. Your 60 seconds of time on your 1 minute. Time starting now. Which commodity is graded in the following grades? Choppy, fanning, floury, golden, and tippy. Tea or garlic?
Garlic.
Incorrect, it's tea. Ramnanji or Ramnani ji started this bakery in 1953 in Hyderabad, named it after his original hometown, which is no longer in India. Which Indian brand of bakery am I talking about?
Karachi.
Is correct. Which Tata partner in India started its journey at Pike Place Market in Seattle in 1971? They are a Tata partner in India. Famous giant of outlets across the world, started in Seattle in 1971. They partner with Tata. No. Final question. Excellent oxide constitutes the logic for which brand name? I've started, so I have finished. Excellent oxide constitutes the logic for which brand name?
Is it Exxon?
Exxon, E-X-X-O-N. Well, you get that wrong. So Anirban misfiring on the final frontier. He got Karachi Bakery right. He did not answer on the Tata partner, and he's going to kick himself on that. That's Starbucks. Well, Tata's partner in India is Starbucks, and they started out in Seattle. So you gained 50 on Karachi Bakery, but you lost 100. So you actually get a minus 50 in this round because you get a minus 100 and you get a plus 50. All right. Well, there quite literally is no contest for Roshan in that sense, unless on the final frontier, Roshan decides to take minus 200. That's a theoretical possibility. Well, if Roshan decides to get all four wrong, then he will set a new world record for throwing a quiz away after literally winning it. Can you have your mic on, Roshan, before we move into the final round? And give him his 1 minute of time. If he just passes all the four, he's through. But I think he's not going to do that. He'll play out his questions. If you're ready, Roshan, your 1 minute of learning and 1 minute of quizzing, time starting now. What is the term used to define an informant who exposes wrongdoing in an organization? It's a famous term today.
Repeat it, please.
What term is used to define an informant who exposes wrongdoing within an organization? It's a governance term. You can choose to pass if you want. Did you pass?
I'm passing.
You passed,
Yeah, passed.
sorry. Here's the next one. In the world of banking, what is the full form of the acronym HNI?
I will pass it.
You choose to pass again. What served as the standard for currency valuation prior to 1861 before gold was adopted? What metal was prior to gold?
Pass it.
Well, final question, I'm starting. In the world of Jews in Lombardy, when benches were broken, a term was coined because of that. Today, when yes, go on.
Is it bankrupt?
Is perfectly correct. Well, far from bankrupt is Roshan as far as this quiz is concerned. He's played the game impeccably well. And here's a final look at the industry quotient in our first semi-final on YCC 2020's Industry Awareness Quiz, created by Skillablers. Winning the first semi-final and going into the mega final is Roshan Krishnan from Hindustan College of Arts and Science, Coimbatore. Right behind him were two contestants, Pranav and Anirban. Anirban, of course, could have finished an easy second, but he went for the kill on the final round and took a few negatives. And Pranav and Dhananjay finishing with him as the three finalists in the first semi-final. To all those of you who've been watching this fantastic quiz in an absolutely new medium created by Quizzitil, the world's first integrated digital production unit that the world today has in the world of quizzing. And of course, if you enjoyed this quiz, do send us in your feedback into YCC 2020's Industry Awareness Quiz. But to all of you contestants, thank you for being part of this fascinating new journey. As much as we thank all of you who've been watching this final, from me, Pig Brain, on behalf of the entire team from YCC, thank you for tuning in. We'll be back with you with the next semi-final tomorrow at the same time. Till then, good evening and goodbye.